This is the book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 38, and it reads, And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Verse 39, And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. Verse 40, And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke off of thy neck. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, and the glory shall go to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Makakodash, Brakatam. Double honors shall go to the apostles, elders, and bishops, the great millstone who continue to teach and to rule well. Shalom to the Akims, the great millstone, and like-minded camps and individuals who continue to teach as one body, who continue to be out on the highways and byways, risking their lives for the greater good. And also shalom to the sincere Aquats, who are continuously learning in silence, as the Holy Scriptures have commanded for you to do so. This is Azariah Gabar, representing the King is Coming channel, back at it with another lesson for edification purposes. All right, so what I read just now in Genesis about Esau being blessed by the sword, all right? So this is what's going to be the lesson for today. The title of the lesson is going to be The Lord Need His Sword. Okay? Once again, the Lord need His sword. And what do I mean by this saying? Simply put, the Lord created Esau. And after that, he blessed Esau with the sword. So why did he do this? What was his purpose? Well, simple. He's going to use Esau to destroy mainly Babylon the Great with those ICBM missiles, okay? Now, you have several types of swords, of course. It's not just a blade sword, but in these times, Salakia, the sword would be guns, things of the sort. But the main sword will be those ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles. That's going to be shot off from all four corners of the earth very soon, World War III, all right? But here's a kicker. The same that Esau was blessed with the sword, he's going to end up being cursed by this same sword. All right? So to prove that, we're going to go to Isaiah 34:5, and it reads, For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. And what's that sword bathed in heaven? Those ICBM nuclear missiles, like I just mentioned. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, aka Esau, Edom, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. You see where I'm going with this? So it's going to be his blessing, but it's going to be his ultimate curse and downfall. Double-edged sword, all right? So now that we got that out the way, Salakia, let's go to Matthew 26:50, and it reads, And Yahushai said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? And this is a time when Yahushai was about to be taken in to custody to face trial for crucifixion. Then came they and laid hands on Yahushai and took him. Verse 51, And behold, one of them which were with Yahushai stretched out his hand and drew his sword, and that would be Peter, and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. All right? In verse 52. And this is the point. There said Yahushua unto him, put up again thy sword into his place, for all that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Okay? So in other words, you live by the sword, you're going to be cursed and you're going to die and perish by that same sword. Okay? So now let's get to Jakes. All right? Because these Jakes still, they want to be in the mix and have guns and exercise Second Amendment rights. But again, that is for Esau Edom. That's not for us. Because when we go to the book of Romans 8 and 6, and it reads, for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Verse 7, because the carnal mind is enmity against Yahweh, for it is not subject to the law of Yahweh, neither indeed can be. All right? So, again, you Jakes, this is not your lot to be armed. All right? You're supposed to be spiritually minded. Being carnal minded, that's Esau's thing. He's blessed with the sword. So, you got this 27 amendments, okay? And so, what do you see here? You see Amendment 2, right to bear arms, okay? So this right to bear arms ties into the scriptures, like I just recited. In Genesis, when Esau was blessed with the sword, so they have the right to bear arms because the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai gave Esau the right to bear arms. It didn't apply to us, all right? But you simple Jakes, again, you want to be down with Esau and have a gun, you know? But guess what? You're going to be cursed and you're going to die with that sword, all right? So I want to queue up a couple of videos real quick to prove my point. But before I do so, fair use of the 1976 Copyright Act for these videos are for education and edification purposes only. I'm not making a dime off of any of these videos, okay? So here's this one quick video. And the title is The Consequences of Gun Control. So, you know, you got this Edomite here. All right. He's given his justification for not having gun control, okay? So bear with me, Slakia.
Earlier you mentioned that all the amendments kind of depend on the second one, and my friends and I were talking, and we kind of felt like if the people were to rise up over the government, we don't really feel like our guns would be able to stand up against the U.S. military.
You'd be surprised. Let's take one example. You guys might remember the Hong Kong protests a couple years ago. If they would have had firearms, it would have been a completely different situation. The Chinese Communist Party wouldn't have taken over Hong Kong if every one of them had an AR-15 strapped around their back. The number one way you look in the 20th century that the worst countries are able to take power, Nazi Germany, Soviet Union, Pol Pot, Mao's China, the first thing they did is they took the guns. Taking guns is the beginning of the end of the rest of your freedoms. So that's my answer.
Earlier you mentioned that all the amendments kind of depend on the second one.
So there you go. That's Esau Edom's justification. So let me show this guy real quick. All right. This was him that made his statement, okay? So, again, they're going to fight tooth and nail to retain their Second Amendment right to bear arms. But again, that's the Lord's blessing to them, not to us. All right? So let me give you another video to back up what I'm saying. So this one, black gun owners in Chicago charged with felonies despite valid FOIDs, CCLs. All right? So, again, you Jakes are not Esau Edom. Y'all want to act like you are in that playing field, but you're not. So, Salakia.
Why did Amazon send me $20,000? Because
I don't care. Shut up.
I'm going to show you a way to potentially make money.
It is your constitutional right to carry a gun in the state of Illinois if you have the proper licenses. But some black gun owners say their rights are being violated. CBS News Chicago investigator Dorothy Tucker uncovered several cases where they were stopped by police and charged with felonies despite having everything in order, leading them to pick up the pieces of their lives.
We did something that's never been done before. Watermelon cheesecake.
A cheesecake tasting in the south suburbs. Louis McWilliams's dream is to grow his business.
It's gonna blow you away.
I like it. All was good. Until this.
See that?
I'm an entrepreneur. I have a company, a cheesecake company called Ann's Flavor Cheesecakes.
At the time of this interview, Louis faced a felony charge.
This has been very traumatic for me. I feel
This
like
brother
my
had
license
the proper
valid.
paperwork for carrying a
With Second
gun.
Amendment rights, Louis is an avid gun owner.
Just get me there.
See, being carnal,
In the middle.
this brother being carnally minded.
Louis was pulled over on the south side, west of 79th Street. He had a missing front plate.
How you doing, boss? Good,
The first thing he did, tell the officers he had a gun.
good. And which homicide?
According to state law, in order to carry a legal gun in your car, you need a firearms license, better known as a FOID card, and a concealed and carry license, commonly called a CCL. This is Lewis's card, and it's valid. That's what he handed the officers.
He looks at him. He said, okay, cool, this is perfect.
Only it wasn't.
And look who's locking him up. And Eve.
It didn't pop up and leave.
Look who's placing the cuffs on this brother. His own Eve. Y'all heard?
Police recommended Louis be charged with 2 felonies.
Check that out.
And look here, prosecutors approved the charges.
He never should have been charged.
Irv Miller is a former prosecutor, once in charge of review.
All right, so for time constraint purposes, I had to cut that video short. But I saw the whole video. So what happened with that brother? As a result, he ended up spending 24 hours in lockdown in a Cook County jail. All right. And then when he was finally released, he had to go through the motions of the criminal justice system for the next 3 months to get those charges cleared and expunged. But to me, your charges are never expunged. That's a lie. But what eventually happened to him was he missed an important business date to expand his cheesecake business, and he lost out on a lot of money as a result, right? So now his business tanked as a result. You heard? So again, you Akims and Akwats, all right? Listen up closely. You're not Esau Edom, all right? You're not blessed with the sword. That's not our lot. And you saw what Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua did to wake him up, all right? But who knows? He probably still going to carry them guns anyway, you heard? So all praises, honor, and glory shall go to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Kodash, Barakatam, Shalom.